Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. It's looking like the Ohio State women's basketball team will have their season end in the round of 32 of the NCAA tournament. They currently trail Notre Dame 75-63 with a minute 16 left in the game. NFL news, Jaxon Smith-Njigba got a nice pay raise today. The former Buckeye and Seahawks have agreed on a 4-year extension worth $168.6 million. This deal makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. The coaching carousel is getting hot in college basketball. Utah State coach Jared Calhoun has agreed to be the next head coach at Cincinnati, and former Cincinnati head coach Wes Miller has agreed to be the next coach at Charlotte. This update is sponsored by Uber Eats. Uber Eats has a great deal waiting for you at Scramblers. From now through March 31st, get a buy one, get one free deal on the Manhandler skillet on the app. Terms apply. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Up for Ohio State.
You've waited all day for this.
Don't let that team steal it away. He's going to take it to the house. 85 yards. Down the right side going Devin Smith. Got it at the 5 and into the end zone. Touchdown.
The one show that's nothing but the Buckeyes.
Oh! And Graham Ruckert for the touchdown. Graham shoots it high on the right for 3.
This is the Buckeye Show.
Off and rolling here on a Monday. I am Brandon Beam, hanging out with my guy, A-Ward Sports, Austin Ward, freshly back from the land of Disney out in California. Reimer behind the glass. Austin, happy Monday to you. Usually we don't do this on Mondays. Usually we have Buckeye Roundtable, but because of the Ohio State women's basketball game earlier this afternoon, still going on, about 69 seconds left to go over at the shot. Ohio State trailing by 13 points. Currently looks like the Ohio State women's basketball team, their season will come to an end. Usually we got Roundtable, but we got kicked off the network for the Ohio State women's basketball team, as we should have, because of it's an NCAA tournament game. Of course we should have. But here we sit. It is a Monday. What's going on, buddy? Good to talk to you.
Fantastic to be here. I'm excited because I don't want to jinx it, but I think slowly but surely my voice is returning. It's been a rough stretch. Lost it on some roller coasters out there on the West Coast. So,
were you just yelling ka-chow so much?
I yelled ka-chow quite a lot. That's for sure. Saw Jacob's favorite tow truck, Tow Mater. He is a huge celebrity out there.
As he should
in
be.
Radiator Springs. Lightning McQueen. Neither one of them are signing autographs. Can't figure out how Disney hasn't been able to get that technology created for the cars yet. But good trip. Super hot out there. Good to get away with the girls and have a couple days and not miss anything when it comes to Ohio State football, because the Buckeyes will be back out there tomorrow morning.
Yes, they will be. I believe, 9 a.m.? Somewhere along those lines. You guys don't get availability. You don't get practice watching ability tomorrow, correct?
Not this week at all.
Okay.
So,
but you do get Ohio State Pro Day Wednesday.
We have, and Pro Day is fun, especially when they've added this wrinkle the last few years where the current players are able to participate. So I remember C.J. Stroud taking advantage of that, and everyone just was eyes on, locked on, scouts, general managers, coaches wanting to talk to C.J. after throwing and putting on a clinic. I wonder how much of that will happen again for Julian Sand. I guess I haven't heard definitively from Ohio State if he will be throwing to Carnell Tate.
I would have to think he would be.
You're correct, Beamer. That's my assumption as well. Will Kazmarek, Max Clare running routes. Could Jeremiah participate in that? I don't know about that either. I don't know that he needs to. Yeah. And just being in the facility, there will be, 150 people that want to talk to him about his future down the road and get to know him anyway.
Well, it was so funny on that point. I remember talking to Albert Breer as we got through Ohio State Pro Day last year. Jeremiah Smith just coming off of his insane freshman season. And he was like, everybody was enthralled with what the Ohio State prospects were doing last year at Pro Day, coming off a national championship. There were a lot of good ones to pick from, and a lot of them are going to have fruitful and fantastic NFL careers. But he was like, the overwhelming theme was every GM that I talked to, every scout that it was Ohio State Pro Day, like, let's get our eyes on Jeremiah Smith for the first time in person. If they hadn't watched the game, let's just see how he operates. And he didn't even participate last year, did he?
No, he did not.
Was he allowed?
I think you can only do it 1 year in advance of being draft eligible. Don't quote me on that. I haven't seen anybody who doesn't fit that bill participate in any of Ohio State's Pro Day. So we'll see if that does wind up being the case on Wednesday. Obviously, he doesn't need to. There's probably an element for Ryan Day and Arthur Smith and Cortez Hankton where they don't want him to. Don't get those extra reps, but
you've seen enough.
Yeah, just like his very first spring, where the spring game, like, no, shut him down. protect him, get him ready for the Texas game.
You saw him at Student Appreciation Day. That's all you need to watch.
Yeah, he's special, and he doesn't obviously need it. But at the same time, Ohio State will do whatever it takes to support their players, put them in a position to succeed, set up interview opportunities, anything else that they can, anything that they're allowed to do, they will. But I think that, Julian's saying, in line to do that and help out some of his former teammates, potentially help himself get to know some of these scouts, general managers, coaches that are going to be trying to likely draft him at this time a year from now. And that's kind of wild to say that he could be one of the highlights of Ohio State's pro day when there are, 5 potential first-round draft picks working out in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, and the Buckeyes anticipated to dominate the top of the draft with Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese and Carnell Tate. And maybe there actually is a scenario where Caden McDonald has some room to move back up. I don't really understand how he fell in the first place through some of these mock drafts. Not that
it's lying season. That's how.
Yeah, I hope that's true. Because anyway, we can talk about pro day when we get closer to Wednesday. That the current Buckeyes will practice tomorrow.
We might not have time. I might not have time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for myself when I just come in here and me and Reimer are previewing pro day tomorrow night. But
either that or here in 15 minutes when I get a text like, hey, you got to leave.
Yeah, whatever.
You guys then have an hour and 40 minutes to kill by yourselves.
Fine.
That's fine. You have a Rolodex of guests.
Reimer,
we can hang it. We can handle it.
Reimer's coming off of watching 4 straight days of college basketball. I think I can just leave too. We'll just do.
You know what the first thing he said to me today was when I saw him? He said, my eyes are not feeling great today. I said, yeah, man, because they've been bleeding all weekend because you've watched
Did you go outside at
hours
all?
of TV.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
We actually went to the zoo yesterday.
Wow.
At the start of, I think during the first game, but I was probably being a bad dad and was watching the game on my phone while we were at the zoo.
Hey,
but
man, listen, you're
she's
at
not
the
seeing
zoo.
it. She's not remembering any of it.
Let me tell you something. How old is she now? 6 months?
6 months old,
Oh,
yes.
6 months? She's not seeing anything.
Yeah.
All right.
We're still trying to crawl now.
It's just for you to get outside and get some exercise.
Yes.
Push the stroller around.
Get some vitamin D in you. You're fine. It doesn't matter. She's not going to realize that, oh, look at the giraffes.
I'm pointing to her like, hey, there's the reindeers. And meanwhile, like you've got Braden Smith having a nice behind the back pass to Trey Coffin ran for a layup.
Yeah, who cares about reindeers when you can watch those guys do their things?
She's just like, okay, here, I'll spit up on you instead.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah.
Look at me, Dad.
Yeah, I think you guys would be fine, though.
Yeah.
I have to call it after 15 minutes tonight. I got to call it, got to go.
I'm not worried about it.
No.
That's not the ideal outcome. We'll get through it.
I bet Birm would hang out with you guys for a couple of segments.
He's in Columbus all week long because, like you said, we've got spring practice number 3 tomorrow. We won't see any of it, but we'll actually hear from Arthur Smith for his first press conference after that's over. Carson Hinsman, Luke Montgomery, and Brandon Ennis will also talk after practice. Pro day, as you mentioned, Thursday after practice, no viewing period, but we'll have Matt Patricia, James Smith, the king of intensity, Garrett Stover, Iron Buckeye, and Jermaine Matthews, the truth teller, the new truth teller in residence for the Buckeyes. And then Saturday, we'll have Cortez Hankton making his first press conference appearance for Ohio State after practice, and Jeremiah Smith on Saturday. So a really busy week covering the Buckeyes. And so, if I have to call Birm to get down here and fill in for you, I'll make that call.
Unfortunately for him, he would have to cancel tickets to a movie a little bit later on, but that's all right. We'll check in with Birm. Got a great show lined up for you.
We have free tickets, don't worry.
Tonight, Birm is going to join us around 6:17 or so. We'll talk all things recruiting. Jet Harrison getting a monster bump up in recruiting rankings. That would be the brother of Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll do that coming up here at 6:17. The Buckeyes have a new highest paid player in the NFL. Get into Jaxon Smith-Njigba's deal coming up at 6:30. Austin, your question of the day, which you've pivoted kind of on LettermanRoad.com, but we will get to your semi-question of the day.
They'll be back.
Which is 3 big thoughts leading into week number 2 of Ohio State Spring Ball. Get into that coming up here around 6:45. Get into the College Pulse at 7 o'clock. How's everyone's brackets doing? We've got some movement in college basketball for coaches, and the targeting penalty is changing. Returning production, where does Ohio State rank in the country? We'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour. And then Jake Diebler had his final radio show of the season. We'll hear from him coming up here
at 7:30. But do want to let you know that Ohio State did just lose to Notre Dame, second round of the NCAA tournament. Austin, you go back to 22-23. Ohio State made it to the Elite Eight, had a terrific run in that round. 23-24 knocked out in the second round. 24-25 knocked out in the second round. And unfortunately for the Buckeyes today, also knocked out again. 3 straight departures in the round of 32 for the Ohio State women's basketball team. It stinks. I mean, I know that, we had to do this show on Thursday and Friday last week talking about the men's team, and here we are doing it again on Monday for the women's team. Stinks for Jelani Cambridge, man. She's an absolute baller, right? I mean, you look at, the all-American teams that she made, the All-Big Ten teams, the awards list that she was on, the awards that she received here this year. So your heart kind of breaks for her in the season that they had. So now they go back to the well and have to rebuild again. I mean, Reimer and I were talking about this at the end of last week. You don't plan on it being the end of your season, but when it happens, man, those clocks hit zero. Boom, it is over. And now I'm sure that, Kevin McGuff and this Ohio State women's basketball team and that program, they're going to take tonight to kind of think and take a breath after the season. But there's no rest for the weary because they've got to get back to it. The Ohio State program does. The leadership in the athletic department has to get right back to it tomorrow to try and figure out what to do with this program.
Yeah, you just scratch your head a little bit, Beamer, because this baseline competency that has been established for Ohio State, where they're almost always going to be in position for a top 4 seed. They're almost always going to be in a spot where they're hosting these first-round games, where you can tell how high the ceiling could be because of star players filling it up and All-American, All-Big Ten performers. This is not a new thing. It's been going on for a long time, but also the exits before are expected, before the seeding would tell you that Ohio State should no longer be competing in women's basketball. These keep popping up. And I know that every tournament is unpredictable. There are always going to be upsets.
Look at Iowa today. Look what happened with Virginia.
Well, right? and look at what happened yesterday and heading into the Sweet 16 for the men's tournament. Like, it happens.
Shout out the Big Ten. And
that's the difficulty of trying to evaluate the success of a failure of a basketball season based on a one and done single elimination tournament. Like, bad things can happen. Bad nights can ruin an entire season. And Ohio State had a good one. This is not the way that anybody wanted it to end, of course. I don't know that they were a realistic national title contender, but I think they should have been playing into the second weekend. And Kevin McGuff or Ross Bjork or some collection of everybody over there has to figure out what it's going to take to get back there.
Ohio State, they return to the Woody tomorrow. A guy who's going to be there tomorrow alongside of you, Austin, is the one, the only Jeremy Birmingham. He's going to join us coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb, coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Modern Office Methods, your authorized RICO dealer, can help your business optimize your print production with a competitive advantage. Our digital printing options will expand the type of paper and substrates from what your business can print on today. Add variable data capability, which allows for personalization of catalogs and mailers, and the ability for short-run label printing, which allows your business to print high volumes of custom labels quickly and on demand. Want to learn more? Start with a print assessment at momnet.com. Why risk it? You can count on Mom.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag Buckeyes Care.
Everybody knows that Roosters is a fun, casual joint with their award-winning waitstaff, great food, fun, and laughter. It's a quick stop on the way home to sit back and unwind. It's a front row seat to the big game. Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizzas, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen, and so big you won't believe it. It's your family's other dinner table. Roosters, a fun, casual joint, and the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like a stylishly affordable Corolla. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a new 26 Corolla, Corolla Hybrid, or Corolla Cross. Excludes GR Corolla. Or lease a new gas-powered Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Like a rite of spring, Tee to Green begins Masters Week. Hosted by Skip Mossick, Lifetime Achievement Award winner by the Southern Ohio PGA. It adds a touch of class to the radio station.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Saturday mornings at 9 on The Fan.
Accountability in elections isn't partisan, and in Ohio, Republican and Democrat teams work together to create confidence in every election result. Ohio's elections are accurate, accountable, and accessible, always. So make your plan to vote at voteohio.gov.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
The ONN Daily Podcast. Get a recap of all the day's news from across the state. The ONN Daily Podcast. Listen at onnradio.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts from the Ohio News Network. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll look for dry conditions overnight into Tuesday morning across central Ohio with overnight lows mid to upper 20s. On Tuesday, a lot of sunshine, high temps cracking the 50s into the low 50s we go. Wednesday, partly sunny skies into the 60s. And then on Thursday, into the 70s. So it's like 10 degrees warmer each day. Thursday starts out dry and sunny, and then a cold front comes in the evening and nighttime hours with some showers and some thunderstorms. That is your 97.1 The Fan weather forecast. I'm 10 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer.
The best kind of power is star power. Let's go on the trail.
Hanging out my guy Austin Ward tonight. Right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Checking with our guy. He is of Letterman Row. He is also one half of the Austin and Birm show. I am sitting beside the other one. He is Jeremy Birmingham. Birm, what's going on? Happy Monday. What are you most looking forward to this evening? Where are you going tonight?
Did we surprise you?
Yeah, I was totally surprised by this call. And I'm going to go see Project Hail Mary, the new Ryan Gosling movie. That's what I'm fixing to do. I just wrapped up watching, unfortunately, a very predictable end of the Ohio State women's basketball season.
Yeah, as we wrapped up at Roosters from the live show earlier today, you and I were talking about it, and it just felt like that was inevitable. I don't know what has to be done to get the Buckeye, because this is a very different conversation, I think, for the women's program than the men's program. They have a baseline competence, baseline level of success where they're in the tournament. They're a high seed every year, and it's the early exits that are the problem. If this was happening every year to the men's team, and it's like you're a 3 seed, you're in position, I think everyone would probably sign up for that, Birm. I don't know. You're the resident Ohio State basketball fan. You tell me.
They'd sign up for a few years for it. You know, that's the problem. There has to be a point where the program elevates. And so we're not really seeing that with Kevin McGuff's program. And they continue to have really high level players and they just seem to have a challenge when it comes to playing good teams. And I'm not sure at what juncture that stops, but you know, the men's issue is that they have not been getting to the tournament. The women's issue is they're getting there as a 2 or 3 seed every year and then not being able to win the Big Ten and not being able to finish what they need to do in the tournament. But again, these are the questions that Ross Bjork has to answer, I guess, because ultimately, where is the floor, where is the ceiling, and are they at either of those? I don't know.
Birm, you guys are on the Letterman Lounge, over at lettermanrow.com. You're interacting with fans. You guys are on social media. You're seeing the comments about NIL dollars for both the men's and women's Ohio State basketball program. Let me ask you this question. If you were the GM of both Ohio State men's and women's basketball program, or either one, whichever one that you want in this scenario, what would be your first order of business here this offseason, I guess, as the president of basketball operations for the Buckeyes?
Well, obviously, you have to get a big if you're the men's basketball team, and you need to find someone that's going to be able to compete in the Big Ten on a week-in, week-out basis, and a guy that can bang around a little bit and not get bullied like Christoph Tilley did this year for the Buckeyes. And on the women's side, it is somewhat similar, but you run into teams like UCLA or Michigan that just has a lot bigger players than you do, and size isn't everything, but it certainly matters, and especially in the Big Ten where the physical play is allowed. But the men's side of things is pretty simple, I think, from what they need to take care of this offseason. It's find a point guard to replace Bruce Thornton. It's find a big man to replace Christoph Tilley that can actually bang around in the Big Ten. But is that easy to do? I don't know. We know the Buckeyes are not cheap. They are spending plenty of money when it comes to basketball. And so now you have to do a better job evaluating the talent, and then, hopefully you get a little bit of luck during the season. And that's what Jake Diebler didn't have this year. Just had a good run of bad luck with injuries and stuff like that.
No chance to evaluate the Ohio State talent during practice for the media tomorrow, but we will get to talk to Arthur Smith and Carson Hinsman and Luke Montgomery and Brandon Ennis tomorrow. Birm, what are you most interested to hear about?
I just want to see how Brandon Ennis, especially in his position room, what those guys are seeing from Devin McEwen and Kyle Parker. I think that'll be instructive. Beyond that, I think that, I'm interested in Luke Montgomery's perspective on the offensive line going. And for Arthur Smith, it's just, hey, what has this been like for you in the first couple months of having the opportunity to play around with pieces like this that you just haven't had as a coach in your life? I mean, now you have great players in the NFL, but not so many all at one time that you can be a run-first guy, you can be a pass-first guy, you can be a mixed guy, you can do whatever you want, and that's the value of being at Ohio State. We saw Jim Knowles experience that a couple of years ago. We saw Matt Patricia and his excitement about that last year. So, I'm interested from Arthur Smith's perspective, like, how does this feel to you to have all of this and the ability to play whatever style of offense you want? I think that's a cool thing for him.
He's got Birm. We have Birm. He is Birm with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Which player are you most interested to hear from this week, Birm? I know that both of you had mentioned Garrett Stover and his unique abilities kind of in that defensive room. Who are you most interested in hearing from a player perspective coming up to here this week?
Again, I think it's Ennis. Obviously, he's a guy that's been a captain. He's an Iron Buckeye. He's all the things that you expect, but he's a guy that, from a player perspective, probably could enter this offseason feeling a little bit of a hot seat, considering what Kyle Parker and Devin McEwen bring to the table. So I'm interested to see how he's handled this offseason differently, or if he sees his role changing at all, because obviously in this offense, and again, with Arthur Smith and a predilection for running the ball and throwing to the tight ends, like, what does this mean for a guy like Brandon? I think will be important. But also just because he is such an important leader on this team, how is he taking that challenge? And that's why I think he'll be really good to talk to tomorrow.
Birm, we know this is going to be a big week, for Carson Hinsman, for Luke Montgomery, for the Ohio State offensive line, as you get the pads on and it starts becoming real. If you were gazing into the crystal ball, maybe, I don't know, making a bold prediction.
Oh, you guys should trademark that.
Yeah, we have already.
Okay.
We're printing the T-shirts right now. What do you forecast for the likelihood of Ian Moore taking one of these jobs on the offensive line?
We talked about it a little bit at the live show today. I'm not sure that it really is as important for Ian Moore as it is for, is Gabe Van Sickle going to provide enough of a sure thing at right guard during spring to eliminate the need to tinker? And because I think ultimately we know what Austin Satterfield is at left tackle if he has to be there. Now, there's at least a chance Ian Moore is so good that he has to play left tackle, but as you and I have discussed multiple times, it's not like Austin Satterfield can't get better in the offseason either. So I think it really comes down to Gabe Van Sickle, and if his spring doesn't live up to what people expect it to be, and that opens the door for Josh Padilla at the end of the spring, if it opens the door for Austin Sareveld, because this is all about getting the best 5 for Arthur Smith and for Tyler Bowen, and I don't know that you can really I don't know that they want to move anybody, because the best thing for the offense would be to have probably Gabe Van Sickle be what they had hoped he would be. So he's had an interesting offseason, I'm sure, with all of the ups and downs from the Indiana game to the Miami game to everybody now calling for someone else to start or to play. So, I think Gabe is really the piece there that matters the most.
Birm, when you look at this Ohio State recruiting class and you continue to look into maybe your crystal ball, just emerged earlier today was the 2028 Rivals Top 300. Jet Harrison, the number 1 player on that list, brother, of course, of Marvin Harrison Jr. I remember talking to you. I don't remember if it was last year, 18 months ago, when it was, when Jet Harrison started coming up in conversation. Maybe he received an offer.
When the offer came out
from Ohio State. And again, I'm not sure the timeline of that. What's the deal with Jet Harrison as far as it goes from a Buckeye perspective? Is he going to be on campus anytime soon? Or are you expecting any movement with Jet Harrison?
He'll actually be on campus this coming weekend at Ohio State, which will be his first visit since, the changes in the coaching staff. And obviously it's been a while because Marv hasn't been in the program for a couple of years, and Jet spent a lot of time around it when he was younger, but hasn't been there recently, certainly hasn't been there since Brian Hartline left. And so it'll be an important weekend. Oregon and Miami are a couple of the other teams involved. And, once you start looking around the country and now he goes into his junior year with the high profile ranking and all that stuff that Marvin didn't have, I think you'll see him be a much different recruitment, but obviously Ohio State will have an inside track based on Marv's experience, and hopefully we'll see Marv this week. I wouldn't mind seeing if he showed up and supported Carnell on Wednesday, so wouldn't mind to pick his brain about that a little bit.
Yeah, I would bet that we're going to see Marv on Wednesday. He loves to be around for Pro Day. I think some of the former Buckeyes or current NFL Buckeyes, plus the next wave, I mentioned Julian Sayin in the first segment on the Buckeye Show, potentially throwing on Wednesday. It's like Pro Day has become a much bigger event than I can ever remember, Birm. And a lot more fun to be around. It is not just like the combine and running and then everything's done. It's like Ohio State has turned their on-campus of activity into a true event.
Well, that's what everything now is an opportunity to continue the brand and the picture of development. And if you want to tell recruits are not allowed to be there this week, but they're going to be there on Tuesday and Thursday. They can't be there Wednesday. So they're going to have an opportunity to see the guys milling around and get a chance to talk to those guys about what their experience was like at Ohio State and to prepare for the Pro Day. It'll be a good opportunity for all those guys. And it's a good opportunity for Ryan Day to just sell the program and get it on NFL.com or NFL Network or any whatever stupid channel they put that on these days.
Quick hypothetical for you. Is there anything prohibiting former Ohio State players being at practice on Tuesday or Thursday to interact then with the players or recruits who are going to be there those days, Birm?
Oh, no. Those guys are always there. The ones that work in the building down there, they're always there.
Okay, before we get you out of here, and I hope you have a great time at your movie here this evening, what's your favorite Ryan Gosling movie before the one that's coming up here tonight?
L.A. Confidential. Just kidding. Just kidding. What was that one? No, he didn't. He wasn't in L.A. Confidential. He was in what's that one where he was dancing around with Emma Stone?
The one with Steve Carell.
Yeah, no. That was not the same one.
La
the one
La
where
Land?
He was La La Land. Yeah, L.A. La Confidential. It's all the same.
All right. Have a great time tonight, Birm.
I don't think so.
I like musicals, guys.
Okay.
L.A. Confidential is not a musical.
Yeah, but it could be.
Goodbye, Birm.
Bye.
There he goes. Jeremy Birmingham, Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. What's the one I'm thinking of with Steve Carell? Emma Stone is also in that one.
She is. I don't remember what it's called.
Why am I blanking on it?
I don't know. But
Crazy Stupid Love.
All you have to
That's
do,
the one I was thinking
if you just want a movie, just cast Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone.
And Birm will watch it.
Anything else is gravy.
You're going to be fine. Ohio State has reclaimed the highest paid player in the NFL, besides a quarterback accolade. We'll do that coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Life is more fun with a pal. So is pizza. So check out Donato's $5 Pizza Pals menu. Order any large pizza and add your choice of a sub, salad, wings, dessert, and more for just $5 each. Order your favorite $5 Pizza Pals from Donatos.com today. more toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's. Gotta love more.
AgPro has been family owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
While serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. Today, I'm a sculptor. Now, my fingers are my eyes. I'm Michael Naranjo. As a veteran, I know the challenges of life can be great. In my art, turning a lump of clay into something beautiful, that is worth doing. Life is like that. We each must use what we can to make things better.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year in life-changing ways.
Now, I show others how they can create something with their own hands. I know it can do a lot of good. With support from DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Michael Naranjo, may your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
If you still have a weird rash from jumping in Mirror Lake, we can be friends. This is the Buckeye Show.
I want to let you know that we here on the Buckeye Show brought to you by our good friends over at CareSource. Birm's going to see a movie here tonight, Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling. When was the last time you went to a movie theater and saw a movie? Because I go to movie theaters all the time.
It's definitely been a minute for me.
Let's see. Hoppers came out 2 weeks ago. So a little bit of a, well, not a secret. We've talked about it on the Austin and Birm Show. We have just the best, most passionate, generous listeners, and they're all over the globe. It's amazing.
Huge in Romania.
Some of the emails that we've got, the countries would blow your mind. And it has blown mine, but we're thankful for that. One of the cool things that happened, been about 4 or 5 months ago, Birm and I got an email from an Ohio State fan, lived in Kansas City, works corporate headquarters for AMC Theaters.
Nice.
Said, work long hours, got the commute, appreciate the podcast and being kept up to date on everything Ohio State does. Said, I heard Birm mention, I don't know if it was a mailbag or what it was, that he spends, a lot of time away from home, living out of the ward house. Mm-hmm. And that one of the things that he does just to, get away from me and Allie and Liberty, which can be noisy or can rely on wrestling being on television at almost all hours of the day.
I got to get out of here.
Is Birm would go to the movies. He said he heard that and he said, I'd love to do something for you guys. I work in the corporate office here. We have a level of pass that you can go to 2 free movies every day for the entire year. He said, I'll sign you guys up for that. Just keep giving me Ohio State information, and once in a while shout out, send me an email, let me know what movies you liked, and if everything's still great at your local AMC theater. I said, oh man, this is great. I said, you can't just give it to Birm because I've got an 8-year-old, and you know that she makes a lot of bold predictions out there. She's a rising star. She might want to break down movies one day.
It's like the gold card they give former Major League Baseball players. Just walk up to the ticket office and get 2 free tickets.
It's amazing. And, I always make it worthwhile for the theater as well because I do not watch a movie without a large popcorn and a soda. Lib's got to get the icy. So, we're trying to pay that back. But that's one of the coolest things that has happened. And obviously a huge benefit because we get Birm out of the house for a couple hours.
Yeah, no, it's a win-win for everybody. I think the last time I saw a movie in theaters was Top Gun 2. Now, I've been to Studio 35 100 different times.
Every week, I believe.
Well, it used to be every week. It's now like every other week. But yeah,
you guys going tonight?
Probably not. No, we might be a little bit busy tonight. We might have some things going on.
So I had to ask Rebecca real quick what the last movie would have been that we saw, and she said probably Jungle Cruise, and I honestly don't remember that.
Oh my goodness!
But then,
hey, time out real quick. I don't even know what that is.
I know. Honestly, I'm not even.
What is that?
I'm not even knowing what that is right now either. I don't remember it at
folks,
all.
Well, Jungle Cruise is a famous Disney World, Disneyland attraction, a day one attraction.
I know it has The Rock in it.
And they created
Yes.
a narrative movie around it with the final boss, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Emily Blunt. It feels like you got there, Reimer. Like, is that not jogging your memory? Or did you just sleep through the whole thing?
This has Jesse Plemons and Paul Giamatti in it? I got to watch this thing.
It's a banger.
I think I might have. But she then confirmed, actually, I don't know if I should be ashamed to admit this, but it was actually the Barbie movie.
Oh,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
We had Barbenheimer like a couple of years ago.
That's
that was
true.
Such an extravaganza. Actually, you know what? I take my Top Gun 2 comment back. I saw Oppenheimer. We saw Oppenheimer in theaters.
Chose that over Barbie.
Yeah. Well, we didn't see Barbie in theaters, but we did watch Barbie. I was going to ask Birm if that was his favorite Ryan Gosling movie. He notoriously is Ken.
I thought he was pretty good in that.
He was.
He hated Barbie. I'll just tell you that right now.
Birm did?
Yeah.
Or Ryan Gosling?
No, he loves Gosling, but he made up a movie that Ryan Gosling was in to not name Barbie, which is clearly his most famous role. He's Knuff for everything.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his most famous role.
Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
actually,
maybe not.
I mean, if you're talking about box office,
I guess The Notebook is probably.
The Notebook is
probably number one.
Blade Runner's pretty famous, right? That was a good one.
But being Ken is probably, for me, it has supplanted.
I liked him in the Big Short. This is my quant. That's a great line.
I think he's an American treasure. I hope he's not from Canada.
Remember the Titans?
No.
Oh yeah, you're not a fictional sports.
We're not going down.
All right, never mind.
We're not going down that road.
Never mind. All right, let's pivot. Let's talk some Buckeyes. This came out today. All the ESPN NFL sources had this one. Jaxon Smith-Njigba signed a massive contract extension, which makes him the highest paid player now in the NFL for a non-quarterback. 4-year, $168.6 million extension with the Seattle Seahawks. That is an average of $42.15 million. It also includes $120 million guaranteed. It is a record for the wide receiver position and also makes him the highest non-paid quarterback in the NFL. Congratulations, Jaxon Smith-Njigba. Unbelievable career so far with the Seattle Seahawks. Just won a Super Bowl, had a great performance in the playoffs in the regular season to get there. That is money well spent by the Seahawks, and that is money well earned by Jaxon Smith-Njigba.
Yeah, 100%. Echoing the last part, well earned. He's one of the hardest working players that I've been around. It was a treat to follow, his recruitment, his development all the way through, and then it was a real, I don't know.
Is he a Rockwall, Texas guy?
Rockwall, Texas.
Go throw on, don't do it now. After the show is over, if you're on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, don't change us. Then watch the Austin and Birm show after you're done with that. After that, like at 11 o'clock tonight.
Add it to the viewing list.
Type in some like Jaxon Smith-Njigba high school highlights because they're out of control.
Yeah, all of that stuff, the hard work, the competitiveness, the drive. There some of the suggestions that Jaxon was opting out, that he didn't want to come back from the hamstring injury. They were so wildly off base. That was the most frustrating. That, to me, was more frustrating than not being able to watch Jaxon play that last year and what that offense could have looked like if you were unleashing that full arsenal with him at the top. He was so special. Obviously, people at the NFL level have seen that now. The Offensive Player of the Year, the highest paid wide receiver in the sport. But he had all of this, I think, coming for a long time. And the way that other Ohio State wide receivers slightly older than him or the next wave coming through would talk about the things that he could do in practice, the way he approached workouts. Everyone said this guy's the best one. And you would, if you lined them up, Marv, JJ, JJ wasn't in that conversation at this time, obviously.
Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, like all those, the string of first round picks and NFL players and Terry McLaurin and everybody else, just physically, if you had them in front of you in a lineup, you'd say, well, I'm not sure that that's the one that I want. I think most of us would probably take the height and length and genetic history of Marvin Harrison Jr., and you probably wouldn't be wrong to do so, but the way that people would just
it's such a great argument. I don't know if he would have been third on my list. It would probably been Marv, and we're excluding JJ out of this conversation. I think we should.
It's probably unfair to include JJ.
Yeah, we're just not going to include him. It would probably go Marv or Garrett Wilson to me, one or two, and then I think there will be a conversation whether it's Chris Olave, Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Terry McLaurin. This is on like their Ohio State careers, but
even if you threw Benjamin Victor out there at 6'4", 6'5" with the straight line speed, I'm just eyeballing him. Jaxon is not going to blow you away with the pure physicality, even the speed. I remember the 75, 80-yard touchdown at Nebraska where he just was running away from everyone. Like, I didn't know that he could do that. It's always about the ball skills and how crisp the routes always were, and that he wasn't going to miss any opportunity when a football came his way. But he's shown that. I'm not breaking any news at this point. We're talking about a Super Bowl champion and the current most decorated offensive player in the NFC. So, he is an elite talent, and now it's just the gut punch that Ohio State didn't get to see that all the way through for the last year that he was in the Woody.
I think that's and I'm not going to say like Ohio State athletics history, like the biggest like what if, but in the last decade, if you could have seen a fully healthy Jaxon Smith-Njigba in his final year here at Ohio State, what that would have been like. Also, I think if we're talking about that, which is a whole different wormhole to lead into discussion, it's probably either
There's
Jaxon
two candidates
or it's Nick Bosa. Yeah. It's one of those two to see them fully healthy in their final years here with Ohio State.
What if they called it a fumble in the Clemson game? I mean, I know Austin's answer to this. I know Austin's answer to this. If you get Ohio State LSU in the national championship,
we know what would have happened. That would have been an absolute massacre. Just Tiger blood gushing all over the field.
I really do wonder, though, like if you polled, 1,000 Ohio State fans, which one would you rather see? Would you rather see a JSN fully healthy season or a Nick Bosa fully healthy season? Both of them are correct. Like, there's no wrong answer there. The Nick Bosa season, you would have seen him alongside of Chase Young. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, you would have seen him with,
with Marv.
Yeah, with Marv. And then Marv. Or here's another one.
And Emeka.
Here's also another hypothetical while we're on this train thinking about how Ohio State got jobbed over the last 10 years. If Marvin either A, doesn't get knocked out of that bowl game against Georgia, or B, you call a targeting, what happens in that one?
I say this a lot, and it's become something of a broken record. But Ohio State, when they lose, like almost every single time, either they had to beat themselves or something that you could never have predicted had to happen, short of an asteroid strike. When you're talking about these injuries, the what ifs, almost every season that falls short of the mark for Ohio State, you point to something. It's like, well, how did that happen? And if it didn't happen, what would this team have become? A Jackson injury, a Nick Bosa injury, a bizarre targeting, a truly ludicrous officiating blunder in the Fiesta Bowl. But in that game alone, Reimer, there were 10 plays. I remember writing about it the next day. It was like, think of not just that call going wrong, but Josh Proctor slipping on Trevor Lawrence's run, the reviews at the goal line for J.K. Dobbins.
Wade.
Yeah, and you obviously Chris Olave and Justin Fields with the miscommunication on the final play. They had to have 15 things go against Ohio State. Clemson had 0. The targeting as well with Trevor Lawrence in there and Sean Wade. I mean, that game is the craziest one I think I have ever covered. It made no sense to me, and maybe that's also why I'm so convinced that they would have absolutely destroyed LSU 10 days later. But nothing is ever going to change my mind about it, like, period.
You know, it's funny because you look back at the COVID season and you look back at Ohio State against Alabama, you're like, that would make sense. I get that one. I understand that loss.
But what if they'd not tested like Alabama didn't? You know, I'm going to do the same thing.
What if Michigan tested that week in that season, though? We could do this for hours.
Yeah,
what if Trey Sermon doesn't get hurt on the first play in that game?
If Michigan had not gone to their whatever campus party to avoid playing Ohio State and lost by 50
night out,
points.
fellas.
Yeah,
enjoy your night.
Thanks for setting me up to just go here. Is that what's happening? You got the call on the bat phone to get out of here? But none of those other 4 losses would have happened. Yeah, the whole history.
Michigan never wins a national championship.
The whole history of college football has changed.
What did we do to ourselves?
Oh, we did a whole lot. It's classic.
I'm going to lose my voice again.
What are you most looking forward to at the start of spring ball here in week 2? We'll get into that. Maybe coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
I slept in a lot of different rooms, different beds, but none of them really felt like mine. I spent 14 years in foster care, mostly in group homes. And I never had much stuff because I always had to be ready to move. Why get things if you just have to let them go?
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a forever family and a permanent home of their own.
Now I have my own room with walls that tell my story. I love hanging out in here. I play dress up with my sisters and I sing and make videos. But the best part? Knowing I'll always have a place to go and a family that loves and supports me.
If you have room in your home or your heart, see how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Ms. Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
Hey, Timmy, we're in the finals for Pizza Madness.
Oh, Mikey, we've got a classic matchup. We've got Adriatico's taking on Pizza House for all the marbles.
Vote now, pizzamadness.pizza, brought to you by our friends at Billiards Plus.
Yay, pizza.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a Buckeye, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce. And jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and 32-ounce Yingling drafts for only $4. Ryan Day's favorite radio show. Probably. Maybe. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out here on The Buckeye Show. We were just talking about revisionist history and Ohio State history. The four big ones that we came up with was Jeff Okudah, fumble recovery, Clemson, 2019, right? We came up with...
Well, that happened.
Well, according to some, it did. Marvin Harrison Jr., the non-targeting call in the back of the end zone. Even if
also happened,
you call it a targeting, Ohio State gets a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line.
Game's
See
over.
what happens with that. Or Jaxon Smith-Njigba being fully healthy for the season, or Nick Bosa being fully healthy for his senior season. Nate, you were just over there producing the Ohio State women's basketball game, and unfortunately for them, their season came to an end today in the round of 32 against Notre Dame. You just had another one that you told Reimer if we're living in alternate realities.
What if OSU takes the punishment the year before? They're going to the national title game against Notre Dame.
It's a good one as well.
And winning it.
Right? Because you go back and you look, 2010, all this goes down. 2011, Luke Fickell comes in, goes 6-7, I believe, at the bowl game.
So they lost the Gator Bowl.
They did lose the Gator Bowl. And then 2012, Urban comes in first year. They go undefeated. They do go 12-0 to cap the season. Alabama's still running against Notre Dame in that national championship game. That's the famous Manti Te'o game.
It is
for Notre Dame, and I don't remember the final score.
I believe it was 42-0.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a blitzkrieg. It was an absolute demolition job.
I'll have to ask Bodie.
Yeah, I'm sure he knows that off the top of his head. Ask Bodie when you see him next this week what the final score of that game was, so we don't have to type it into our Google machines. That's also a good one, Nate, because Ohio State plays in a national championship, and Urban's first year likely wins that game as well. And I say likely very loosely. They probably do win that national championship game. A fully healthy Jaxon Smith-Njigba doesn't guarantee you a national championship. A fully healthy Nick Bosa doesn't guarantee you a national championship. A strip fumble against Clemson doesn't necessarily guarantee you a national championship because you have to play LSU. And then the targeting against Marv doesn't either because you win that game against Georgia, you have to play TCU in the college football playoff final.
They blow out TCU.
Yes, Georgia also blew out TCU in that game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really which one that you would pick. Like if you had to take a lie detector test and you could only go down one path of an alternate reality, I don't know which one I would pick.
To me, it's the taking the punishment the year early because that season didn't matter. And all the other ones are a what if. This one is basically we were going to play for the national title no matter what.
Yeah, you're right about that. Actually, 100% factually correct. You were going to play for a national championship. And also, Nick Saban and Alabama are not going to play for a national championship.
Yeah. Now, if you're saying, if the argument is this revisionist history, you're not guaranteeing yourself something the next year or that season. Like when Gene Smith, when the board
offers you the chance, though,
I know,
in this alternate reality to play against Notre Dame.
I certainly felt at the time that Ohio State needed to take the penalty in the bowl ban that year in 2011 voluntarily, self-sanction. I understand that because I asked Gene Smith about it. One of the first press conferences that it may have been the first actual Gene Smith press conference that I covered at Ohio State was. It was called to announce the addition of Rutgers and Maryland, but Gene Smith was going to be there.
Additions.
And I think it was the week of the Michigan game. And I was like, hey, do you think back now and regret the decision to not take the bowl ban?
He said, who the hell are you?
Well, the first thing he said was, well, we're not really here to talk about that today. And I was like, well, I think it's the most important thing going on here because no one cares about Rutgers and Maryland.
Just here to talk about Qualcomm.
Yeah. And he's like, he didn't really, and I understand, like maybe there was a time and place that was better for it, but at that time I didn't have a lot of those opportunities to just text Gene Smith and get on the record comments about that decision. And, he's explained it to me many times since then about what the information was they had at that time, the confidence that they were not going to face postseason sanctions of anything. And, I tend to give those people the benefit of the doubt. They generally make very good decisions. It's easy for me, and I don't disagree with Nate at all. I think we can all say that playing in the Gator Bowl compared to competing for a national championship is a bit of a no-brainer. But the point is, you didn't even really know definitively throughout that process in 2011. Yes, you thought Urban Meyer was on the way. You had something special with Braxton Miller, but going into that,
here's another one. What if Braxton never rips his shoulder apart in camp? Because Ohio State won a national championship that season, though. So that's a hard road for people to venture down.
You wanted it to be easier.
I know.
No adversity. You just wanted to beat Virginia Tech.
That's it.
Okay. But the point is, you didn't know for sure in 2011 if you took it that you would be costing yourself, or didn't take it in 2011 that you would cost yourself a national championship, but not penalizing yourself so that you could go play in a meaningless bowl game when you're 6-6 never made sense to me in the first place. If there was any chance that you could ever face a bowl ban and that sanction, get it out of the way as soon as possible.
It's the Gator Bowl.
Then let Urban Meyer have a clean deck. You wouldn't have had to have some of those. Now, they didn't have opt-outs. They didn't have a ton of those issues, and they all deserve that. 2012 team will always be special because of the way that they stayed together, knowing that they couldn't compete for it. The Zach Borens, the Etienne Sabinos, John Simon, putting it all on the line. Garrett Goebel, the captains for that group, like really special what they accomplished. I think if you ask them, should we have played in the Gator Bowl or not played in the Gator Bowl, they said, I think we would like to take our shot against Notre Dame.
Todd on YouTube, and you can go ahead and comment away on our YouTube show. Just type in 97.1 The Fan. Living in alternate Ohio State realities. The Todd father says Michigan State misses the field goal. How about Ezekiel Elliott gets like 15 carries in that game against Michigan State?
Well,
speaking of Michigan State and what ifs, I was there in 97. What if they don't play one bad quarter of football?
We're not doing the whole Ohio State history. We're limiting it to this century.
That's the one that's going to haunt me forever just because I was there.
Everyone who was driving and listening, Nate, just drove off the road and remembers that game. There's just a mass pile up on 315 right now, because you mentioned that.
We are sorry for everyone in traffic right now.
I don't know.
Well, that's Nate's fault.
I don't know which one you pick. That was a great job by Todd, though. Yeah,
well,
that Michigan State
I was
going
to put out a poll, but I only have 4 options for the poll. So what are we doing here?
Those 4 that we put are in the last 10 years.
Okay,
so
the last 4 that we came up with.
Right,
okay.
all of those are within the last decade.
Yeah,
they've got to be.
Yeah,
that
is correct.
Nate, thanks for your effort tonight. Go home, get some rest. All right. He said, see ya. He said, see you later.
He's done enough.
Yeah, good job. All right, how's everyone's brackets doing? We'll do that in the Pulse coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I love the neighborhood where I grew up, but it was tough.
Ohio State National Championship quarterback and former CareSource kid, Cardale Jones.
Football helped me find my direction, but I also needed the right support system. Seeing that CareSource heart around town, I just knew they had my back. That's the kind of difference they still make in neighborhoods like mine. This is so much more than health insurance. CareSource, today and always. Trust it. Visit caresource.com.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the best-selling all-hybrid Toyota Camry. Now through March 31st, you can get 4.99 APR financing on any new 26 Camry. Or lease a new well-equipped Camry LE for just $269 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Buckeye Nation, join us on April 12th at the 2026 Ohio State 4-Miler, presented by Union Home Mortgage, the Ohio Beef Council, and Raising Cane's. This is your chance to run down a tunnel and finish on the 50-yard line at Ohio Stadium. You can also get access to the home locker room and meet some of your favorite Buckeye student athletes. A portion of the proceeds benefit the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. This is something you won't want to miss. Register today at ohiostateformiler.com. Go Bucks!
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
For 25 years, the Library of Congress Veterans History Project has collected and preserved the experiences of America's heroes. From original letters to oral histories, these first-hand accounts bring history to life, one voice at a time. With over 120,000 stories collected, each reveals the courage, sacrifice, and service of our veterans. But many remain untold. Help our nation reach 125,000. Share a story. Ensure a legacy. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. The Ohio State women's basketball team had their season come to an end today in the round of 32 of the NCAA tournament. They fell to Notre Dame 83-73. Jelani Cambridge led in scoring with 41 points. They finished the season with a record of 27-8. NFL news, Jaxon Smith-Njigba got a nice pay raise today. The former Buckeye and the Seattle Seahawks have agreed on a 4-year extension worth $168.6 million. This deal now makes him the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. The coaching carousel is getting hot in college basketball. Utah State coach Jared Calhoun has agreed to be the next head coach at Cincinnati. Former Cincinnati head coach Wes Miller has agreed to be the next head coach at Charlotte. And Creighton coach Greg McDermott has announced he's retiring after this season. He spent 16 seasons in Omaha. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Time for the College Football Pulse on the Buckeye Show.
Sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Number 2 of the program for us here on this Monday. Thanks, everybody, for listening, for watching. You can always download the podcast wherever you get your podcasts on all audio platforms. Just type in the Buckeye Show and poof, it'll appear right in front of your face. You can vote on our poll as well, which is not our fan poll. We'll get to that later in the program. Reimer, how exactly is our poll worded? We've stuck to the last decade for Ohio State sports, Ohio State football specifically.
Yes, so I have, in an alternate universe, which of these scenarios would you have liked to have seen go Ohio State's way the most? JSN fully healthy, Nick Bosa fully healthy, the fumble versus Clemson, and Marv targeting versus Georgia.
I've got to go the Clemson fumble.
Yeah.
The series of unfortunate events in that game. Have to go with it. I want to see Ohio State LSU.
That would have been an all-timer.
I want to see what happens in that game. I know that you're winning. You're likely winning a national championship if you play against TCU in Georgia, right? So like add that to another, banner over at the Woody, another banner at the Shoe, another trophy. But in Ohio State LSU against Burrow and those guys in that championship game would have been absolute cinema.
You know what? I've seen it, okay? You remember watching Alabama against Notre Dame in 2012?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened when Ohio State played LSU.
Quit it. Stop it.
Stop it. It was men against boys.
You don't believe that.
The boys were LSU's offensive line.
You don't believe that.
They just got absolutely bullied up front.
Stop it.
Finished 49-13. That was the final. It's crazy.
Wow. How did you see that? Are you a soothsayer?
Well, I actually was just on Avengers Campus last week.
Oh, so that's what it was. You and Dr. Strange. You asked him with one of those Infinity Stones.
Let's
show
go.
You.
Yeah,
let's go.
I've got the proof right here of me and Liberty talking to Dr. Strange. Now, he really dropped the ball, though. I don't know what this Dr. Strange character was up to. And by character, I mean just the guy, Dr. Strange.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch.
He turned to her and he said, "Does the letter H mean anything to you?"
Oh.
And she was like, "No."
He said this to Liberty? The good doctor did?
The doctor said that. And he's like, "What's your name?" She said Liberty. I don't know why he said the letter H.
Liberty.
There was nothing that had happened that should have pointed him in this direction. Well, who was tipping him off or why?
I know.
Okay.
Because when you return, you're going to return to a hailstorm, which starts with the letter H.
There you go. Way to tie it all together.
He knows all.
There was disaster, by the way, when I got back at 1 a.m. this morning.
It's a mess, man.
Well, do you want to do this now?
I don't care. We got another
The pulse
hour.
is rolling along.
We got 56 more minutes,
So
almost 55 more minutes left to go in the show.
I had done some good housework around the garage and broken down boxes before we left, and got rid of all the boxes, but there was still some, loose styrofoam. And so
double cup.
Yeah, the trash can was slightly elevated open, but I had smashed it all down. I thought I had done a great job, and came back and we missed the trash day because we were on vacation.
Classic.
And there's styrofoam and bags of trash just piled up behind the trash can. And I thought, that's strange. That's not ideal. Doesn't seem like a great problem. I don't know how that happened. Then I went out there this morning. The lid was open again, and then the trash can was entirely filled to the top with ice and water, and the styrofoam is everywhere, all over the neighborhood. There's a trash bag that is now full of water as well. There's leftover, food that had been thrown out before.
Why didn't you text the neighbor and say, hey, can you take my trash out to the curb?
I wish that I had now, but I didn't think, because some of the styrofoam that had been on the top, I can understand one or two pieces being out. But then I went out and was like, why is the entire trash can empty? Well, it's because it was filled with 60 gallons of icy water. So I had to start the day. I had to dump out the water and then refill it with old soggy trash and styrofoam. This is 9 a.m. on the Monday after vacation.
You guys got back at 1 a.m. last night.
I was like, how could there possibly be this much water? It was filled to the top. No trash could stay in there.
Welcome back to the San Diego, the Midwest.
What?
Welcome back.
Yeah.
You're not in La La Land anymore.
Take me back to LA
Dr. Strange
Confidential.
knew it. Hail. That's what the letter H meant to him.
crushed
Your
it.
dad, Liberty's going to have to be cleaning out trash at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning. Reimer, what do you got for us tonight, buddy? How was your weekend watching the NCAA tournament? Fun day yesterday, man. That was awesome.
I mean, it was great. It's nothing better right now. This tournament's been unbelievable. I don't know why people are so upset about the lack of upsets. The deeper we go, the better the games are going to be.
Let me get something off my chest real quick, though. And I forget who was calling the Texas game over the weekend. He's like, the Cinderella story of your NCAA tournament so far is the Texas Longhorns. I stopped what I was doing in my tracks. Meredith and I were watching the game, and I said, well, first of all, it's Texas, all right? I have one of the biggest budgets. Same thing if Ohio State made it to that point of the tournament. All right? It's the same exact thing. Nobody would ever call Ohio State a Cinderella, and nobody should be calling Texas a Cinderella either. Second part of that, so you got Sean Miller as your coach. They're like, Sean Miller goes to the Sweet 16 in the first year of his head coaching job at Texas. I'm like, how can you call that a Cinderella? It's one of the best coaches in the last 25 years. Are you calling Texas a Cinderella? I know they're a number 11 seed. What they did in Dayton was impressive. What they did on Friday was impressive, or Thursday because they played on Saturday. That was impressive. You can't call Texas a Cinderella. I know they're a double-digit seed. It's Texas. You can't do it.
I think it was Brad Nestler that was on the call.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Brad. I like Brad, too.
Those scrappy underdogs down there in Austin with an athletic department budget of $270 million. Good thing they've been able to buy a glass slipper.
Also, they beat Gonzaga, all right? Gonzaga, great program, not known, especially in the last few years, for Mark Few's success, all right? They crumble a lot when it gets to the tournament. And I'll actually give a shout-out to all the Big Ten teams. Nebraska hadn't made a Sweet 16 ever, hadn't won an NCAA tournament game until Friday. What do? Oh, they beat Vandy on an incredible game this weekend. Iowa hadn't made a Sweet 16 in God knows how long. Fran McCaffrey got them to one. Ben McCollum got them to one in his first year coaching. And then all Matt Painter has done is got Purdue to another Sweet 16. Maybe they'll crumble a little bit later in the tournament. That's usually what he's
Texas.
good for. Got 6 teams left in the Sweet 16 from the Big Ten. That deserves a round of applause.
Hey, they know what's at stake. They know how dominant the Big Ten's been this year. They got to end this drought at some point.
All right, my question to you guys then, 6 out of the 16 teams remaining are Big Ten teams. Is this the year that they snap the drought? Is this the year or not?
I'm not confident in
because
it.
I'll say no.
Yeah, I don't think that they will.
I'm going to say no.
And I know that you really thought Wisconsin would, so that's
Wisconsin burned me in the one and done. I lost my first game. The eliminator picked Wisconsin. All right. Sorry.
You asked how everyone's brackets were. All I care about is this one and done Survivor that you invited me
Are
into.
you still in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. I was feeling so
Austin
confident.
knows what he's doing.
All the 5 seeds and the 4 seeds.
turned me into a real hoop head.
3 seeds, 2 seeds, 1 on the first day. Wisconsin, the only one. Absolutely burned me. The worst part of that is I had Vandy picked 30 seconds before I locked in the Wisconsin pick.
Oh, man.
I know.
Brutal.
What are you going to do? You just eat it. You got to take it, man. Got to take it this time of the year.
I mean, there's a real shot that the Final Four is all Big Ten teams.
Whoa.
How would you? Michigan, the way Purdue's rolling.
Yeah.
You got 3 in the
How do you
South
think
region.
Kelvin Sampson's feeling down there?
Yeah, awesome. You get to play in the Elite 8 for a spot in the Final Four in Houston. Well, guess what? You got to go through all these Big Ten teams.
Michigan State looks good.
You got to go through the Balkan block in Illinois, and then whatever is going to be down there between Iowa and Nebraska fan bases. It's going to be awesome.
Well, that's a lot of corn.
I do have Illinois in the championship game.
There we go.
I'm
that's
a big
crazy.
believer in the Balkan block. They look awesome, man.
Yeah. I hope that our show is big in Champaign as much as we ride for
the
Illini.
Champagne room? We're huge there.
We were all in on
stars in the
Illinois last
Champagne
year.
room.
Come on.
We were all in on Illinois, the football team. We're all in on Illinois basketball.
Balkan block, man.
Can't go wrong.
Was it Underwood this year who said, I don't care where I bring my guys in from, just make sure that they drink a lot of vodka and are like tougher than everyone? Or was that Mick Cronin after they played Illinois?
Big Cronin said something along the lines of wanting to go and get those guys.
That's right.
I just saw someone's over my shoulder.
Yeah. Well, he just texted me. I texted him at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I said, hey, you want to come in at 6:30 or 6:45? And he just texted me back and said 7:15.
Well, he was covering the women's game.
I know he was. I didn't know what time he would be back, though.
Oh, well, I'm glad he's here.
I have another question about Illinois. Were you guys watching? Did you see the dunk from the one Avicic brother?
I did. It was after the VCU player missed the dunk on the other end, right?
Yes.
And then I saw it.
Did you hear Bill Raftery's call on that?
No.
Take me to the Balkans, please.
He's terrific.
They're beautiful this time of year.
Him calling a game is great. If we could get him and Kevin Harlan together, just join forces together on a call, it might be too much for me. I may just spontaneously explode, like all that styrofoam did in your trash can.
Maybe Dr. Strange wanted us to go watch Kevin Harlan call a game.
I think he did.
I mean, they were in San Diego.
Yeah, we were close.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dr. Strange, television's Adam the King. He just walked in studio. He's going to join us coming up next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Abbott and the Big Ten. 18 schools. One blood drive competition with a life-saving purpose. We give blood. This season, your one donation helped save up to 3 lives. And together, we saved over 200,000. But the need for blood never stops. So keep your sleeves rolled up. Keep giving blood. Keep saving lives. Visit big10.org/Abbott to donate.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, where can you get a full suite of business banking services served up by well-trained, caring employees with unquestionable integrity? It's right here at Heartland. Relationships matter. I'm Scott McComb. Come over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Rare banking feels good.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention Columbus. Town Properties just clinched the title of the largest residential property manager in Columbus, thanks to the Columbus Business Journal. With pride, we oversee 25,000 plus households in the Columbus metro area, ensuring fantastic places to call home. Whether you're on the hunt for an exceptional living space, a top-notch association management company, or a property manager for your multifamily portfolio, visit our website at town-properties.com and let us elevate your living experience. Town Properties, always managing great places to live.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Cancer. For some, it's one of life's fiercest foes, but not at the James. While cancer hides, we hunt as a team like no other, giving patients access to the most advanced treatment options and sparking new hope. So if you just heard the words, "you have cancer," you should know this. We heard them too. And there's no better team in the nation to create a cancer-free world. The James at Ohio State.
Hosting a passionate crew of Buckeye fans? Revamp your rec room for an epic watch party with power reclining sofas, massaging recliners, entertainment centers, and coffee tables from Bob's. They even have sofas with drop-down tables for snacks and bevs. Shop in-store or online to score big on an incredible game day setup at Bob's everyday low prices. Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
The Jackets hit the road for a battle with the Flyers. Live fan coverage starts Tuesday night at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Columbus Blue Jackets, The Fan.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad, and I feel very proud to be his son.
That was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Well, dry into Tuesday morning across central Ohio. Tuesday's looking good. A lot of sunshine. We'll be in the low 50s. On Wednesday, partly sunny skies, middle 60s. And then on Thursday, middle 70s. Most of the day is dry and sunny, and then a cold front comes in the evening hours with a chance of rain and thunderstorms. And then it's colder on Friday with highs only in the 40s. That is your 97.1 The Fan weather forecast. I'm 10 Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Chris Tomer.
It's time for your daily dose of vitamin B. B stands for Buckeyes, just in case that wasn't clear. You're listening to The Buckeye Show.
Hanging out on The Buckeye Show tonight. We here on The Buckeye Show, brought to you by our good friends over at CareSource. Television's Adam King has sauntered in. What's going on, buddy?
He demanded airtime.
No, I'm typically on Tuesday, and Beam texted me 6:15 or 6:45, and I didn't see it until about 6.
I texted you at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Listen, Beam, I apologize. I don't expect that text on a Monday. I expect it on a Tuesday, but obviously
you're on your phone all the time.
Yeah, but on phone calls.
He's a cold caller.
Yeah, I don't like text messages. You never get anything done over a text message.
Well, what are you, 80?
Well, somebody texts you, and then what do you have to do? You have to answer a question, and then you got a question of your own. So then they got
to just thumbs up. Just hit the thumbs up.
Well,
button.
Then you're just kind of rude. Like if somebody thumbs up my text, I'm like, okay, and rude.
That's
all right.
why actually it's a good point. I usually give the heart. I think the heart is a little nicer than a thumbs up.
But in a professional sense, isn't the heart just a little strange?
It's like the difference between typing out okay and then just doing like a K or like an okay.
Exactly.
Do you type out when you type out okay? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
okay.
AP style is capital O, capital K.
That's the nice version.
You type the entire word out.
I think if you typed it out, I would be concerned.
That's psychotic.
Yeah.
That you type out the whole word. OKAY?
Yes.
Yeah, you can't be doing that.
Why?
Criminal.
That's
criminal behavior.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, I heard you passed out while your wife was giving birth. Any comment? Is that
all right? Let me set the floor here. All right, let me set the floor, and that way this isn't just a random conversation.
I wanted it to be random.
My wife, very close to being in labor. All right, things are transpiring at our house.
Don't you say the word.
I'm not saying anything.
We're not putting her business out there.
But it's very, very close. So like we're on watch right now. Like my phone is on loud in case that, I get a text that I got to get pulled away. And Austin and I were talking about once you see a live birth, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Nothing really can phase you after that. And you were disgusted.
That's where our dad strength came from.
You were disgusted by this whole thing. And you said, I would pass out. And I said, I'm pretty sure Reimer did.
Just to be clear, I will be in the other room with a sign that says, "You've got this." And like the phone on speaker.
Well, she won't be able to see you.
Well, that's fine. That matters less to me. So, because there's no. So, Reimer, you took one look and you said, "Not a chance."
I did not pass out during the birth. There was like an appointment or something that we had to go to a few weeks later that Rebecca was concerned about and wanted to get that checked. And they're taking her blood, and I'm standing there squeezing her hand, and I can feel how uncomfortable she is, and that caused me to not feel well.
What a support system you are. Honey, hold my hand. Oh, there he went.
Honey, I'm with you. I feel what you feel.
I don't like needles, and giving blood and just feeling how uncomfortable that she was caused me to then pass out.
So you made it through.
That's crazy.
And watched the delivery.
Yes. I did not watch the delivery.
Oh, okay.
You get one of those camcorders.
If you had done that, there's no amount of hand squeezing that would have caused you to pass out.
No. I stayed away from that area. I was by her head the entire time.
Just to be clear, one of the
Every
greatest...
man needs to know his limitations.
Yes.
Good job, Jacob.
One of the greatest things that we learned as a civilization is that we don't need a VHS tape at that moment. Because I don't know if your guys' parents were like this, but once VHS tapes came out, everyone's like, we got to record that special. And you're like, nobody's watching that.
It's the same thing as people taking videos on their phone.
Yeah. Well, people don't do that, thankfully. We grew up as a society. We're like, nobody wants to see that. Let's just send a picture once Delilah's out of the, in the arms wrapped in a blanket. That's what we're looking for. Right?
Hey there, Delilah.
Hey there, Delilah.
What a great song. Plain
What
White
a lovely
Tees.
blanket
Absolute
you have.
banger. So when Meredith was first with Willie, we were in the hospital. She grabbed my hand, and my hands were clammy. I was like, I'm nervous. God knows.
Not as much as Reimer.
No, correct. I remember this vividly. And she grabbed my hand, and it's the meanest thing she ever said in a moment to me. But I'm like, you know what? It's fine.
You're busy.
She grabs my hand, and they were clammy, cold, sweaty. Again, because I was rather nervous. She says, "Hold my hand. Hold my hand." I'm like, all right, cool. I'm there. She takes one grab of it for 3 seconds, realizes how clammy they were. She just looks at me and goes, "Yuck, that's disgusting." So I'm sorry. She goes, "Get away from me." For another hour and a half. She's battling through 9
What did she think 2 hours later?
She's battling through 9 layers of hell. She's going through the worst pain she's ever been through. And she has the courage and strength just to look at me and say, "Yuck, that's disgusting. Get away from me."
How sweaty were your hands?
Oh, very. You said you couldn't be in the room. I was in the room. It was terrible. Sweaty. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So just to be clear, Reimer said, "I'm here for you," and then needed support from the doctor. You said, "I'm here for you," and the wife said, "Get out of here."
Yeah, pretty much.
Austin, were you there just ready? You were strong as can be?
I found it very uncomfortable that there was nowhere for the dad to sleep. I
bet that complaint went over real well.
I was like, what is going on here?
Why is this chair so lumpy?
It wasn't even, I didn't even have a chair. There was no chair. There was no couch. I was literally laying on the tile floor. She's like, "Did you bring
Where did she have a baby?" I mean,
we're in the delivery room.
Shirley Basin?
You don't know how long you're going to be in there. That's why I thought there'd be, at least a chair, but hopefully a couch. Instead, I'm just laying on the ground on this tile. She's up there, drugged up in a bed, watching Fast and Furious on the iPad. And I'm like, what?
How dare she?
What am I supposed to do here? Now I'm being physically tortured?
Why didn't you say to her, I think it would have been very fair to look at your sweet wife and say, can we at least rotate here? All right, you've had the day in the bed. How about we give a little love to me? All right, I stood here and held your hand. I didn't sweat once.
I know you can't feel your legs, but you should definitely stand up right now.
I did suggest it. I didn't go.
This is the story of how Austin slept in a hospital or slept in a hotel the night of it.
That's right. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to go home, sleep.
Jacuzzi's super nice. See you in a couple days.
Yeah, see you later.
Just thought maybe even like a blow-up mattress or something. Just roll it out, but no.
So what happened? Like in real? Are we like minutes? Like she could text any minute.
I mean, yeah, she could text any minute. But I don't think we're there.
You don't, but not that like it would happen in a minute, but like text in a minute, like, hey, need to come home now.
Oh yeah,
you're there on that front.
Yeah, we're there. We're within the week. It's gonna happen this week.
What was the actual due date? Mind you,
April 8th.
I know nothing about
it.
So
we're like 2 weeks shy of April 8th.
I couldn't know less about childbirth. So like, I thought that you could like schedule a day now. Can't they do that?
They can. Yes, it's called being induced.
Oh, okay. And so you guys said April 8th. That's wanted to get through the Final Four.
That's not how
you
that
said.
works,
I want to
Adam.
make sure that we get the championship.
No, that's a vasectomy you're thinking of.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a different. Wait a minute.
Thing
entirely.
He
wants to have Masters weekend.
That's what I was gonna say. You're gonna have a kid in the middle of the par 3 contest. I mean, come on.
Yeah, of course.
They
don't do anything for the first couple of months.
You just get to sit there and watch the Masters.
Now, the problem is the 3-year-old that's at home. That's going to be a real problem to navigate.
We're really teaching Adam a lot.
I am. How long until you're allowed to sign that kid up for Masters tickets, the lottery? I mean, do you do that the second it happens?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think as soon as the child is birthed, I think you can get on the.
Just have to make sure they're registered for an email address.
He's not even going to text anybody that, oh, hey, the baby's here. Let's just get on the Masters website and register for tickets.
100%. And guess who's going? All 4 of us.
Yes.
That's right.
Let's go.
We're all going.
That's right. And
phone's locked up. We don't need anything there.
And your wife will be at home with a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. That'll be beautiful.
Yes, it will.
I've got to cover spring practice. I can't go.
Well,
oh my gosh.
If you guys could let me stay at your house after all that would be very good. How was the shot a little bit earlier today? I know the season came to a close for the Ohio State women's basketball team.
It was sad. A great start, but obviously a frustrating ending. It's not. Sometimes the story of a game actually plays out exactly how you talk about it, and not that we thought that they would lose in that way, but when you have one of the best players in the country scoring at a ridiculous rate.
Yeah, Jelani Cambridge scored 41 points.
Yes. I mean, we got the matchup we always wanted to see. Jelani scored 41. I think the Notre Dame, did she score 28?
Yeah, Hidalgo.
Yeah, Hidalgo. She scored
28 or 29? 26?
Yeah, it's 26. So, I mean, it was a great matchup, but just... I can say this right now. Some of the calls down the stretch of the second quarter were a little interesting.
Why didn't you say it earlier?
Well, because
Why didn't you say it on the court to the officials?
I was about from me to you to the ref, and I was watching thinking, this is getting a little, like, they were kind of sure. They were getting a little dismissive of Ohio State on some, like, clearly no calls. I mean, the fouls in the second quarter were 8-1. That's insane. That discrepancy. Now, in the end of the game, I think they straightened it out. They came out in the third quarter. I think they called some things Ohio State's way. But in the second quarter, I was ready to stand up and say, excuse me, if I could borrow you for a second.
There are people watching this.
I'm
the pool day off to come here.
I also
explain yourself.
I can count on one hand, and this is one of them, where the refs walked off at halftime to just a chorus of boos. I mean, it was so loud.
Good.
There was one time I was a wee lad, and Ohio State was playing Michigan State, and they were down 20, and some guy stood behind me. He stood up. I was with my dad, and he goes, hey, you stupid, and he used a word I'm not allowed to use, zebras, do your job. And my dad, I thought, oh, man, I can't believe he would use that word around people. My dad, I thought he would turn around and be like, hey, sir, my son's here. Mm-hmm. My dad's like, yeah, guys, yeah, that's right. Do your job, zebras.
That's how you know it's bad, when the parents aren't protecting their kids. Like, I agree with that guy.
Yeah. You need to learn that word and use it on the officials.
But not on the radio or television.
That is correct, because we can't, or else we'd get fined.
That's right.
We don't want to do that. Before we get you out of here, what are you most looking forward to spring practice, either tomorrow or Thursday? Who are you looking forward to talking to?
I'm looking forward.
He's already looking forward to Saturday. He already told me.
Jeremiah?
Cortez Hankton.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to Arthur Smith. I think it'll be interesting. I also don't know how Arthur Smith is in an interview setting. Like, we got a chance to talk to him, and he's a great guy.
Was it on the record or off the record?
I was off the record. Okay. But so on the record, I want to see, how is he into a microphone? Is he giving me 3-minute sound bites, or is this like a Julian saying day one on the job where it was a little short, but he's gotten a lot better,
I think that Arthur Smith's probably going to be pretty good at it.
I think he's done it a couple times.
He was an NFL head coach.
Dealing with NFL media types for a long time. So.
Yeah, but this is different.
It is.
Hey, staring at television's Adam King is quite the daunting task.
Okay, if I guess the exact time and date that your child is born, will you name it Adam?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going March 25th.
Okay.
At 4:32 a.m.
4:32 a.m. March 25th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if it's born then, you have to name it Adam.
Television's Adam King.
Well, I don't know.
Beam.
That's
what we'll name it.
Television's Adam King Beam.
Yeah.
That's got a ring to it.
Yeah. All right. Adam,
we can call him Taco for short. TAK. And then we got to think of an O middle name.
O'Reilly.
Yeah. Television's Adam King O'Reilly Beam.
Oliver.
We blew the break. Fish is going to be mad at me.
That's fine. I won't be here for the next couple
Taco
weeks
Beam.
anyways. Goodbye, Adam. Have a great night. Television's Adam King, everybody in studio. Jake Diebler, he had his final radio show of the season. Today, you'll hear from him coming up here in 2 minutes. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
You know what hope is? Hope is action. Carving a path forward, even when it's hard.
And kids who still know how to dream. They're the best pathfinders of all.
So at Child Fund, hope means helping millions of children living in poverty worldwide to grow up healthy, educated, skilled, and so all those good things can come true for them. Safe.
And that means safe at home, safe at school, and safe online.
Hope means walking this path together. All of us. Because when we work together, we can do so much more.
That's right. Hope includes you.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
To learn how Child Fund works with children in 23 countries to help them achieve their full potential, visit childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Introducing Optimized IT, the managed services division of Modern Office Methods. With our cutting-edge managed IT services, we bring proven management strategies to the table to support your current IT team. That's not all. Our experienced team provides insight on how to maximize efficiency, helping you achieve your goals faster. Concerned about security? Our backup solutions help guarantee your data is protected around the clock, giving you peace of mind. Start at OptimizedIT.net for your free IT assessment. Stay ahead, stay secure, and stay optimized.
Paul Keels here, voice of the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeye MVP membership upgrade for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
The Buckeye Show is sponsored by CareSource, proud to be your home for Ohio State athletics. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The only radio show that bleeds scarlet and gray. This is the Buckeye Show.
I got a headache. Laughing that much.
Adam King is going to learn a lot.
I think he already has. He already did, actually, because we were having conversations off the air, which he had no clue what we were talking about. And I think he did. He did learn a lot.
Yeah, Liberty calls him Willy Wonka.
That's a great name for him. He does kind of live in his own little world.
Because there was one time because Adam King, the cold caller, suggested that he was more like, Liberty heard him describe himself as Charlie Bucket, which is Charlie in the Chocolate Factory.
Disagree.
Well, very exuberant, borderline
Charlie,
knife.
before he found that golden ticket, I wouldn't describe him as an exuberant young lad.
Post golden ticket. Yeah,
PGT era.
PGT, Charlie Bucket, living life, exploring all the wonders of the world, in awe of everything around. I mean, but even pre-GT, Charlie Bucket was still enamored by the possibilities of life, which I think all of it describes television's Adam King. but he described himself that way, or his friends did, and he was passing along the story. And Liberty loves television's Adam King, but will only ever refer to him as Willy Wonka.
I will teach young William to speak of that whenever he sees television's Adam King as well.
I'd like to get him, one of those top hats like Willie.
I think he'd actually
maybe
look
a walking
good.
cane.
He'd look pretty good in one.
Do you think
he's
they
already
could cover
got the purple vest? I'm guessing.
There's no doubt. I mean, he has the suit game. Charlie Bucket's never owned a suit in his life.
No.
God rest his soul.
Is he dead? Has Charlie kicked the bucket?
It's right there in the name. It's a little on the nose.
Grandpa Joe, probably safe to assume.
There's no one in that bed that's still alive.
Grandpa Joe made his way out of the bed. Here's a question for you. Did they transplant the bed to the chocolate factory when they moved in there and Willie gave the factory to Charlie? I don't know. These are all the questions I have.
I wonder what Charlie's business sense was. Like, how was he able...
Sell it to Slugworth. Slugworth was working for Willie.
Well, fake Slugworth was.
Yeah, you're right.
But, I don't know. We got really off track here. The point is, Adam King is entertaining.
Yes, he is.
Just like Willy Wonka.
Go watch Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Or watch Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Did you watch the Johnny Depp version?
I did. I didn't like it.
It's
kind of scared me.
Strange experience.
Never watched the Chalamet version, though.
Oh, that one's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll watch that tonight in the hospital.
Laying on the floor?
Yeah. Or one of the chairs, the lumpy chairs. Austin.
Man, if I'd had a chair, I'd have been fine.
We asked Birm this a little bit earlier on. You can always download the podcast on any of your audio podcasting platforms. Watch the show on YouTube as well. If you were the general manager and or president of basketball operations for this Ohio State basketball team, Reimer, you can put your headset on for this as well. Where would you start for the Ohio State men's basketball team here this offseason? Where would you go?
I think Birm skipped his real answer, which is that someone needs to be the general manager for Ohio State basketball.
I agree with that.
Everything in terms of the roster is going to start with probably a veteran portal point guard, because what you're losing with Bruce Thornton going out the door is not going to be readily replaceable by pretty much anybody. I mean, you're talking about the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State history, the leadership that is required. You are afforded in this day and age of college basketball and college sports in general. You can, what they paid for Bruce Thornton a year ago, let's put it in those terms. You're going to be able to find pretty much anybody you want. Now, you have to get that evaluation right. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to handle the negotiations correct. You want to make sure that the dollar amount lines up, that you can still build a roster around this player. And that's not easy. And that's not going to be Jake Diebor's forte. Entering year 3 as a head coach, I think it's also true that for all of Ryan Day's strengths, the fact that he has Mark Pantoni to help lead a staff that is evaluating recruits, transfer portal options, dealing with agents. I know none of that stuff is fun, but that's why it's not on Ryan Day's plate to make all those decisions. He's going to be involved.
He's aware of it.
Of course. And you bring that, you make sure that you're seeing eye to eye. You trust that person in there. But I think that Jake Diebler needs that. Now, he's dealing with, obviously the size and scope that is required for the football program and the number of players that they're involved with and the totality of the roster is very different than basketball. But that doesn't make it any less imperative that you have someone that's helping lead and taking not just the evaluation point, but getting involved with the agents and handling NIL conversations, dealing with whether that's house settlement money, whether that's anything else that is outside of that. You need, I think, someone to take that off of Jake Diebler's plate. Now, I don't know. I'm not in there on the day-to-day basis, Reimer. But they don't have a GM that's handling that. And even if you're spreading it across the staff of 3, 4, 5 assistant coaches on the bench and in the building, they're trying to win games throughout the regular season. And you start hearing transfer portal conversations in December. Like, they don't have the time to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look around college basketball, like all of these top teams that are constantly in contention or have a shot, are great in the transfer portal, they all have GMs. Like it is very, like North Carolina just got one last year. Now I know they were a 6 seed. You have injuries that got them, maybe hindered their chances of being a second weekend team. But I still
We're up 19 points with however much time left. Should have won that game.
Yeah, yes, but
too soon for Reimer.
But it's still
just saying facts here, man.
It's still important to have a guy that can kind of take that balance off of Jake Diebler to where he can just focus on the X's and O's and putting these guys out on the floor in the best position they can to compete and win. And I'm looking at this year going into the offseason and what else is out there in college basketball. You look at Purdue, you look at Iowa State, you got Houston. All three have great trios. They brought back their core. And it's important you bring back John Mobley Jr., Devin Roy, Amari Bynum. They surrounded that with the right pieces needed, like a young freshman talent like Ohio State has coming in with Anthony Thompson. Now go out and get a portal guard, another big that you can service down low.
A big that can bang in the Big Ten.
Yes, exactly. That's suitable for this. Like I feel like on the inside you're going to have to get somebody from a power conference. Like I know, like we tried that with Amari and with Aaron Bradshaw and Sean Stewart, and then you went the different route this time with Christoph Tilley. But you got to have somebody that's been in these kind of situations enough and that is going to be ready for the high level physicality that the Big Ten is.
Yeah, you just mentioned Amari Bynum. I think that's, thing number one that this Ohio State program needs to do, because you and I were talking about this a little bit earlier, Reimer, off the air before the show started. Look at Fred Hoiberg and look at Nebraska and look how much they were already after Amari Bynum before he committed here to Ohio State. Look at the way that Ohio State's season played out. Look at the way that Amari Bynum got better from game number one all the way to the end of the year when he was a superstar, basically in that TCU game. If you don't think that Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska have their eye on Amari Bynum with the team that got to a Sweet 16 for the first time in their program's history, then I don't know what to tell you, because I'm guessing, and again, roster turnover is so crazy in college basketball that you don't know which guys are coming back, which guys are leaving, who you're bringing in. There's so much turnover and craziness in college hoops right now, but Amari Bynum is got to be like thing number one to me, because you have Anthony Thompson coming in here, and then you have Amari. This is nothing against Devin Royal and John Mobley Jr. They are as important as well. But a guy like that with a team going to the Sweet 16 who is from that area, was heavily recruited by them, that's going to be a lot of NIL dollars spent on retaining the services of him. And you heard Jake Diebler today in his radio show talking about him. It's like, oh, there's not one thing that you look at him on a basketball court and say, I don't know if he can do that, because he does everything.
Yeah, and if you look at Nebraska, they will have a lot of turnover. Like Sam Hoiberg, he's going to be gone. Rink Mast has been there long enough. He's going to be gone. I think Bryce Sanford's an NBA guard. He can shoot it like an NBA player. So, they're going to be very active in the transfer portal. I don't know what they have in their freshman class coming in, but they're going to be very active. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if, I know we like to think of them as a football school. I think they can turn all their attention to basketball right now, the way things are trending.
Yeah, I don't know how Nebraska fans would feel about that, but they just gave Matt
There's a lot
that big
more
contract
momentum
extension,
there.
right? There is. You're right about that. There is a lot of momentum with the basketball program.
Yeah, and I think maybe this will be an unfair evaluation if we're just talking about what is going to transpire with Jake Diebler and Amari Bynum and building into next year. I think that if all the things that are true about, the decision that Ross Bjork and Gene Smith made to elevate Jake Diebler, it's about recruiting, it is about relationships, it is about motivating. I think he's checked those boxes. I think this year was a success, and I think it validated the proof of concept with Jake Diebler. But retaining that core group that Reimer mentioned and keeping them together into year 3, yes, I understand that it's more complicated than ever, and basing that off of one or two players when it's fully within the realm of possibility based on Kentucky spending $22 million or Nebraska having, deep pockets as well to spend on basketball right now, and the ties there, that losing a player of that caliber may not be the death knell of the Diebler era for the future or whatever else. But I think if you're looking at this and all the other parts are true, that you have a year now where Bynum has played with Diebler. They've seen the success. You understand how he fits into that program. He's going to be supported at a high level financially by Ohio State. There's no question about that. I think it will be an important test how they retain that core, if they're able to keep it all together, for Jake Diebler, and what that means because we saw the buy-in on the court over the last 6 weeks from Ohio State's roster, but now we're also going to see it in the offseason. And I know that things can change financially, Godfather offers, all those other things, but we're going to know a lot about what the ceiling looks like for year 3 based on some of 3 or 4 key decisions that are coming up here.
Hashtag Buckeyes coming at you next. It's the Buckeye Show on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the court. That's why Encova Insurance is prepared for what's next and protects what matters most to you. With independent insurance agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova Insurance is an easy win for your peace of mind. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you.
Breaking news from Team Valvoline Instant Oil Change. The instant transfer portal is now open. That's right. If you're underwhelmed with your current oil change team, hurry in while the portal's open to get your winning offer now. It's your shot to roll with the team that's always quick, never rushed, with oil changes in about 15 minutes. Enter at instanttransferportal.com and let Valvoline Instant Oil Change throw you an offer you can't refuse.
Enjoy more ways to save at Kroger, like low prices in every aisle. And when you download the Kroger app, you can clip and save more with digital coupons every week. Plus, you can earn fuel points to save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you can enjoy more ways to save and more rewards every time you shop. So it's always easy to save big every day with savings and rewards. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply. See site for details.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota, like the world's best-selling vehicle, the all-new, all-hybrid 2026 Toyota RAV4. Now through March 31st, get 4.99 APR financing on a new RAV4. Or lease a well-equipped RAV4 LE for just $299 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your favorite fan shows are available as a podcast. What a concept. And don't miss exclusive podcast content like Austin and Birm. Listen on your schedule from anywhere in the world. Available wherever you get your podcasts.
Things people don't believe in. Little green aliens. Bigfoot. And that Spectrum TV combines all your favorite streaming apps with live TV at no extra cost. But that one is actually true. You get over $100 worth of streaming apps like HBO Max, Hulu, Paramount Plus, Peacock, AMC Plus, and more, included with live TV at no extra cost. It's only the way TV should be. It's only everything. Learn more at SpectrumTV.com.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here.
And it's Birm from the Austin and Birm Show.
Birm and I have both done Awaken 180, which honestly should tell people something right there.
Right. It tells you that if it can work for you and me, it can work for anybody.
Because neither one of us has exactly been out here living or were living like a fitness influencer.
No, not unless you count fitness fast food tacos in my mouth.
You treated fast food like it was a love language.
I loved it and I still do.
And look, that's fair, but that's also why Awaken 180 works for people listening right now. You don't have to be perfect. You don't even have to know what you're doing.
No, what you need is a plan. You need someone to help bring you along, and Awaken 180 does that. They tell you what to eat, when to eat, and how to make it fit your life.
I lost 50 pounds with Awaken 180, then another 5 in free maintenance.
For me, it was 35. I'm in maintenance, and I'm under 200 pounds for the first time in 25 years.
This isn't just for some tiny group of people who already have it all figured out.
Nope, it works for real people with busy lives who are on the go just like us.
You know, if you're just tired of carrying that weight around, do what we did. It sounds like a lot of people out there can do exactly what Awaken 180 did for us.
Yeah, go to awaken180weightloss.com now.
Working your way through that home projects list, that means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your air conditioner or furnace. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain issues? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing problems? Call the Waterworks. HVAC breakdowns? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted and certified plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Social media can be a cesspool. Allow us to navigate the waters. #Buckeyes.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the plumbing, heating, and cooling technicians at the Waterworks and header today. Call 614-232-2222. Proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hanging out here on a Monday. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us here this evening. Final NCAA second-round tournament, NCAA women's tournament. Number
Real
one
nail biter.
UConn 98, Syracuse 45. Austin, you just said a stat I wasn't looking up at the screen. How many consecutive Sweet 16 is this for UConn's women's basketball team?
According to ESPN, this is 32 consecutive Sweet 16s for UConn basketball. That's bonkers, man. That's blowing my mind. The level of consistency at the highest level.
32.
Like they freak out in stores when they don't go to the Final Four. They're like the Ohio State football of women's basketball.
I mean,
is that fair? Highest standards? Standard is the standard?
The standard is definitely the standard out there. I mean, because national championships, Final Fours, Elite Eights, conference championships. I mean, it's just ludicrous.
You view that from the lens of college football playoff appearances, New Year's Six Bowls before that. I mean, every year outside of 2012, which we talked about earlier in the Buckeye Show and the postseason ban, every year that I've covered Ohio State, they have been in a New Year's Six Bowl or the playoff. That's remarkable consistency. You don't see other programs doing that.
I can't remember a year in which they weren't.
Yeah.
2011, that was it.
And that's
the one.
And they would have been in one in 2012, that first year that I got here. But even that being said, if Ohio State is the benchmark for postseason success, at least in the last 15 years, they would have to do it for 17 more years to achieve what UConn is doing in the NCAA women's basketball tournament.
Absolutely crazy.
And if I'm still covering Ohio State football in 17 years, I'll have done something wrong.
No, you'll have done something right. You and Birm are still going to be on here, man.
I don't know. You think?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're tired of us.
All right. Before we get to our fan poll, which is sponsored by our good friends over at JT's Pizza, I want to get to the poll that we put out earlier on our show account from the Buckeye Show account. Reimer, you put this up in an alternative universe. Boy, I was just having trouble speaking right there.
You're okay.
Which one of these scenarios would you have liked to seen Ohio State go Ohio State's way the most? Jaxon Smith-Njigba fully healthy. Nick Bosa fully healthy. Fumble versus Clemson. Marv targeting versus Georgia. Now, before I click on any one of these results to see the results, do we have a guess as to what the overwhelming favorite, if there is going to be a favorite, of one of these four is?
Well, I'm looking at it right now, so I can't answer.
All right, take yourself out of this conversation.
Based on the number of times that it is brought up to me, whether that is, comments, message board conversation, people are really distraught, or they tend to be. They bring up Jackson's injury more than almost anything else that I hear about. And I don't know if the fumble in the Fiesta Bowl can trump that or not, because I don't know if as many other people share my same level of confidence.
I don't think many do.
That Ohio State would have absolutely dismantled that terrible LSU defense and its porous offensive line.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would like to see that game.
It doesn't sound like you do.
I said that would be the one that I changed.
Dr. Strange told me it was 49.
All right, so you're going to say JSN?
I think it's going to be Jackson.
All right. Jaxon Smith-Njigba on Twitter, 8.4% of the vote.
Oh.
Nick Bosa fully healthy, 3% of the vote.
Okay.
Fumble versus Clemson, 31.6% of the vote. The overwhelming favorite in alternative universe in Ohio State land is the Marv targeting call versus Georgia.
Wow.
57% of the vote going there.
I think it's because you most likely win that game. You're on the goal line. You're most likely going to score a touchdown, go up 2 scores.
Correct.
And then what Georgia did to TCU in the national championship. It was a guaranteed national championship in the eyes of Buckeye fans.
Absolutely it was. And I understand it. All four of them I would understand the vote for. But that's why I feel like I had to mention the Marv targeting either A, he doesn't get injured, B, he gets to come back in the game, or C, there's just a targeting penalty that is thrown. I mean, either one of those, I feel like tips the scale to Ohio State's favor if one of those three things happens.
Even even if you don't cash it in with a touchdown and put that game away, if you're thinking about the final drive and everything else played out almost the exact same way, I love Xavier Johnson, but if you're trying to throw 3rd and 10, you got to slant.
Different receiver than Marvin Harrison
Slant to
Jr.
Marv. That's probably going to move the chains. We saw that a million times, and he and C.J. Stroud had such a great thing going, such rapport, such chemistry. You were seeing C.J. make plays outside of the pocket, outside the system. Think about that touchdown early in the game to Marv in the back of the end zone. I think they probably would have scored or taken advantage of that situation and changed it entirely. So I get it. It does kind of get lost to history a little bit, in my mind, more than the fumble, because that is a play that actually happened and not just really complaining about the officiating, for a targeting call that no one really understands how that works anyway, although the NCAA is trying to make that more streamlined moving forward. I doubt that it'll work, but that's a good selection, and I'm glad that we got to torture ourselves by thinking about this.
Yeah. Other than that, how was the play, Mrs. Lincoln? That's pretty good for a Monday. Our fan poll, though, is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pubs. With the first 2 rounds of the books, how's your March Madness bracket looking? Very good, not bad. Light it on fire. Not really. I'm in not bad category. I think I have 11 out of the 16 teams remaining in mine.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't lose a Final Four team yet. Had Florida going to the Elite 8 and getting beat by Illinois. So I'm not dead by any means.
Yeah. I don't actually know.
You don't have a bracket?
I have one.
Oh.
Television's Adam King started a group, but he only got 7 people to participate in it somehow. I thought that he had more friends.
He doesn't.
That was disappointing.
6 of those are his brackets, and one of them is just yours.
Didn't
ask me either.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm very confused. But
I'm not naming my kid after him.
No.
What?
Definitely not.
If he gets that time exactly right, I mean, that's
4:32 a.m. on March 25th?
That's 2 days.
Wednesday morning at 4:32 a.m.
Not even a full 2 days.
1 minute early or 1 minute late.
I mean, that's pretty remarkable. You would have to tip your hat.
I would have to name him Television's Adam King.
And
Beam.
It's a great name.
It's not bad. It's unique. It's unique for sure.
Who doesn't like it? Probably Meredith.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Other than that,
William would love it.
He would be.
Oh,
this is great.
Television's Adam. What's your brother's name? Television's Adam King Beam.
Just call him TV.
Yeah. Just call him that.
It's another Willy Wonka call.
Reimer, how many Sweet 16 teams do you have?
So I feel like with how mine has played out, it's in the not bad category, but for how much college basketball I watch, I want it to be burn it and throw it away. I've got 9 of the 16. I've still got, I think I've got all the Elite 8. I definitely do, because I have 1 versus 2s in every single one. And my final
Florida's dead, so that can't be right.
Never mind. I'm dumb. That's dead. I got 7 of the 8 still available then.
You forgot about Iowa, man.
I know.
Austin, I had a great time with you here this evening. Either I will or I won't talk to everybody tomorrow, and either I will or won't be with you tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Everyone have an awesome night. Enjoy your evening. Maybe we'll be back tomorrow. Austin will be for sure. Maybe I won't. Maybe Television's Adam King will be here. The baby, not the real Adam King. Everyone have an awesome night. Reds baseball's up next on The Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real.